Yes, it is exactly 3 minutes gone past 7 a.m. this beautiful Thursday morning. Of course, it is the 14th day in the month of November 2024. Good morning to you and welcome on board. I trust that you all slept and woke up well this beautiful Thursday morning. Yes, it is, of course, your number one dial, Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. Your radio experience you can count on, and this is where we start, the Eagles morning rise. Okay, maybe it may have started, since 6 a.m. Of course, it starts, with inspirational, songs or songs just to inspire you and motivate you to kickstart the day on a positive note. And of course, with the news are about to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings and across the Nigerian newspapers for today. And it doesn't end there or stop there, because there's a lot more. At 8 o'clock, Vicky Vic will be right here to bring you up to speed, of course, with the latest happenings in the world of sport. And of course, at 9 a.m. to wrap up the Eagles Morning Rise would be Eagles Outlook, where we discuss national burning issues. Well, how's the month been with you so far? We're close to, the half of the month, and I tell you, Christmas is around the corner. Can you perceive it? Can you feel it? Because I can feel it so much. I can perceive it already, and I tell you, it's about, the most wonderful time of the year, they say. All right. Yes. Thursdays, they say, are for throwbacks. So it is expected that a number of you are going to be throwing back to your Surulere days, your humble beginnings, where you started from, how you started life. It's such a great thing, honestly, if you ask me, beyond, the fun that comes with it. I think it's actually a moment for you to reminisce and also reflect on your life, your self-development journey, how far you've come. Are you making improvement? Has there been progress or not? But of course, there would always be room for improvement, right? So I'd always tell you not to beat yourself to it. Do not backlash yourself too much. Maybe your peers, they've gone really far ahead of you and you feel like you're left behind. Listen, nobody is left behind, because, come on, we were not born the same time. We may have been born the same day, but not the same time. At the same time, you don't have to beat yourself to it almost all of the time, but there is no food for lazy man. Don't forget. So it's really good for you to go out there, to hustle and hustle legitimately, because it's very, very important. If you get involved in internet fraud because you want to make quick gains, fast money, they call it soft work or whatever it is you like to call it, trust me, the EFCC will definitely come after you. I am Omoife Peace of Semere, and of course, from all indication, I will be riding solo this beautiful Thursday morning. Yes. And because today is Thursday and Thursdays are for throwbacks, I'd like to start, the show this morning, by first of all bringing you up to speed on certain events or things that actually happened on this day many decades ago. Right, I have just two, to tell you, about. First of all, on this day in 1969, which was a Friday, Oladimeji Sabor Bankole was born at Abeokuta, Ogun State. He was Speaker of the House of Representatives from November 1, 2007 to May 29, 2011. And also on this day, 1945, which was a Wednesday, Stella Obasanjo, First Lady, 29th of May 1999 to 23rd of October 2005, was born at Iwekmen, Eastern West, Edo State. And of course, we must also say that may our soul keep resting in peace. All right, so that would just be it. Really, really quick. Yes, because I don't want to dwell too much on that. And just to bring to your notice as well, that today, of November 2024, marks World Diabetes Day. Yes, globally, an estimated 422 million adults were living with diabetes in 2014, compared to 108 million in 1980. Now, the global prevalence of diabetes has nearly doubled since 1980, rising from 4.7% to 8.5% in the adult population. Now, this reflects an increase in associated risk factors such as being overweight or obese. Over the past decade, diabetes prevalence has risen faster in low and middle income countries than in high income countries. All right, diabetes is a major cause of blindness, kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, and lower limb amputation. Healthy diet physical activity and avoiding tobacco use can prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. In addition, diabetes can be treated and its consequences avoided or delayed with medication, regular screening, and treatment for complications. So, I think you need to visit any health facility close or around you to get screened. It's good to know your status. You know, it's almost a thing for us in this part of the world. We must start feeling this very severe headache. You know, the one some of us will call migraine, you know, before we now run to the hospital and say that, oh, please check me, I don't know what is wrong. Sometimes people will say, oh, it's village people that are actually coming after them. But come on, it's really very, very important for you to visit any health facility, you know, once in a while. How often do you even get checked in a year? I think we should ask ourselves. I know we're Africans and we've got a very thick skin, right? But it's also important for us to get, you know, screened. It's important for us to get tested almost every now and then, not because we actually want to glorify, you know, sicknesses and diseases, but it's very important for your personal health and well-being. I'll leave it there this morning and start, of course, the early morning crusade right here, which would be to encourage you, to charge you to do the right thing as a patriotic citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yes. How many of you are even proud to be Nigerians? How many of you are proud to be Nigerians? If you eventually travel out of this country to some other climes, would you want to identify as Nigerian? I'm asking you now, so think about it. All right, say no to overspeeding, say no to one-way driving, and stop beating traffic rules or signs. Yes, it's very important because the officials we have on the road doing their job, they're humans. Sometimes it's really laughable and perhaps, you know, very shameful, somewhat disturbing too, when you see this, you know, road safety officers, you know, and even traffic wardens on the road chasing after vehicles, motorists or road users, if you like, because they're not even doing the right thing. Come on, we are adults, for crying out loud. And then the most annoying part of it will be that someone will be in a vehicle with their mobile phones and they're just capturing this moment, like for laughs, if you like. Why? So please, let's make the job really very easy for these people, because all right, so say no to overspeeding, say no to one-way driving. If you are in a hurry, maybe you should wake up early next time. You hit the road early and get to your destination on time. Do not forget that speed actually thrills, but it kills, and I need you to be alive. It's very important. So the Bolt and Uber drivers, those of you that are fond of, you know, hitting the road before you set your location, it is very wrong. It is absolutely very risky. As a matter of fact, if you are a passenger on board that vehicle, it is important for you to raise alarm and tell the driver, come on, please park this vehicle, set your location before we hit the road. As always, those of you who are fond of defecating openly, urinating indiscriminately anywhere you see bush, you just, you know, you just do your thing. Come on, it makes no sense. Let's keep Nigeria clean. Let's keep Nigeria clean. It is very important. And most importantly, take 2 minutes of your time, all right, and tell someone you see on the road today, maybe you're at the market, you know, the banking hall, office, wherever it is, church, mosque. Preach to the person, be a preacher, because all of us have got that preaching, you know, preacher potential in us. So exploit, yes, preach to someone, tell the person why we need to stay together, why we need to stay united, because it is absolutely very important. Don't forget the popular saying, united we stand, divided we fall. So take advantage of that and do the right thing. I'll leave it there this morning for the early morning crusade. What to call it, an early morning crusade or Thursday morning motivation, but I hear motivations are actually for Mondays, not Thursdays. Right now I'm actually trying to buy time and get hold of, you know, the 10 things you need to know for today, but I don't seem to find it, and I just can't even explain what is going on right now. But let's see if I can actually wrap my hands around it. But trust me, if not, I will just go right ahead and bring you up to speed with the latest happenings across Nigerian newspapers, because I tell you, a lot is going on across, you know, the national dailies today. And come on, has it ever come to your notice? But it has actually come to our notice that 100 naira note is almost non-existent right now as we speak. What could be the cause, or what could be the reason? Honestly, what is going on? To get 100 naira note is almost, like a Herculean task right now, especially for motorists. So if you bought a vehicle, they tell you, hope you have change. If it's 100 naira change, you might not have 100 naira change. This morning on my way to the office, the driver actually told me that 100 naira is almost non-existent. So have you noticed? And I'm like, well, this is not the first time I'm hearing this, and I'm just wondering what is going on. Somehow it speaks to the fact that there's been an aggressive spike or hike, in the prices of, foodstuff and, other essentials. But come on, I think at the end of the day, we can only say that God go help us. Abi, God go surely help us. God not go fail us. Abi, God go. That being said, don't mind me. I just had to buy time and, look or search, for the 10 things you need to know for today. So here we have it. The federal government says it needs $10 billion public-private partnership investment in the power sector in the next 5 to 10 years to achieve 24 hours power supply. Now, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, disclosed this when the Director General, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, Dr. Jobson Ewalefo, paid him a courtesy visit. All right. And then number two, the federal government has said it is putting measures in place to eliminate a new terror group, Lakurawa, operating in the northwestern part of the country. The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, said more equipment and additional troops will be deployed to the affected areas in order to stem the tide of the security challenge and ensure that it did not escalate to other states. The number three thing you need to know for today would be the fact that the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has said that armed men invaded its construction site at Obajana in Kogi State. A statement by TCN's General Manager on Public Affairs, Ndidi Umba, said its 330/132/33 kV transmission substation was attacked on Tuesday night. Now, a lot is really going on in that sector. Really, a lot is going on. We've got, cases of vandalism, theft of infrastructure, and what have you. And at the end of the day, we'll come on here to lament, epileptic power supply. But if you're poor, please have a rethink. Just think about it. Does it even make any sense to you? Moving on, at number 4, the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja on Wednesday disqualified Olushola Ebiseni as the Labour Party candidate for the upcoming Ondo State governorship election scheduled for Saturday, 16th of November 2024. Now, the judgment was unanimously delivered by the 3 members of the panel, read out by the chairman of the panel, Justice Adebukola Banjoko. Now, the immediate past Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has embarked on vacation to rest and undergo extended medical checks. The media advisor to the former governor, Crusoe Osage, announced the developments in a statement on Wednesday night. All right, and then gunmen attacked an army checkpoint early on Wednesday at Ekenobizi, a border community between Abia and Imo State in Omokpara, Umuahia South local government area, killing 2 soldiers. And the military source said the attack occurred around 6:18 a.m. The gunmen arrived in a white Lexus 350-400 model, although the exact number of attackers could not be confirmed. Now, a massive fire on Wednesday broke out at the popular fitness center, Eco Fitness Hub in Gwarimpa, Abuja. The fire, which erupted at about 12 p.m., engulfed a large portion of the facility, although the cause remains unknown. A very sad one there. Now, 24 hours after his swearing in, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo on Wednesday approved the dissolution of the executive of all boards, agencies, and parastatals in the State Public Service with him. Now, the directive affected all permanent secretaries appointed outside the civil service. Well, it appears the governor has already, hit the ground running. That number 9, Chief Financial Officer, CFO of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Umar Ajia, has been replaced And the company's spokesman, Olufemi Sonoye, announced Adedapo A. Shegun as Umar's replacement in a statement. But the last thing you need to know for today would be the fact that the Naira on Wednesday depreciated to 1,740 Naira per dollar at the parallel market from 1,735 Naira per dollar on Tuesday. However, the Naira appreciated to 1,645 Naira per dollar in the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, otherwise known as NAFEM. I'll leave it that real quick this morning for, the 10 things you need to know for today. And now let's quickly take a look at, the front pages of the Nigerian newspapers. Well, I will be starting off with the Punch, and of course it's going to be a quick or smart read if you like. On the Punch newspaper, the front page, the big news story leads with governorship poll as the kicker. Shetima, APC bigwigs storm Ondo, PDP campaigns for Ajayi, and then it comes with a rider underneath it. It says 22,239 police officers arrive at Akure. INEC deploys beavers today. Court sacks Obi's Labour Party candidate. You find that on pages 2 and 14 of paper. And then just above that big story, it says Lukarawa killings as the kicker. Survivors recount horror attacks. DHQ, that is the Defense Headquarters, deploys more troops. You find that on page 14. And then heading on to page 31, ATMs empty as banks ration withdrawals. And then moving on to page 5, a missing man found dead near Ogun Stream. On page 42, it says Okpebolo fires permanent secretaries and dissolves boards. You find all of that this morning on the Punch newspaper. I'll leave it there for the Punch, and of course take a look at the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust newspaper is leading differently because the big news story here says FCT houses for judges. Falana counters Wike, insists action unconstitutional. Two riders underneath it. The first one says gesture embarrassment to judiciary, and the second one says we did it to protect judges. This is according to the minister. You find that on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then Ondo governorship, 6 hospitalized as thugs attack PDP members. Details on page 10. And then federal government launch organ transplantation policy December. I like to take that again. Federal government to launch organ transplantation policy on over 90 billion naira Hajj subsidy disbursement. Moving on now to page 4. World Diabetes Day as the key dying weighed down by high cost of medications. All right, this comes with 2 riders underneath it. The first one says we spend over 80,000 naira on drugs every month, and the second rider says experts task government on cheaper treatment and also policy. You find that on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And just beneath the Daily Trust logo, it says Lakurawa members flee Kebbi as troops intensify onslaught. Details on page 5. Gunmen attack army checkpoint in Abia, kill 2 soldiers. Details on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then this one you find on page 26. It says Tinubu's mining sector reform is drawing global attention. See that on page 26 this morning, of course, on the Daily Trust newspaper. I'll leave it there for the Daily Trust. Now, let's take a look at The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper is leading with World Diabetes Day as the kicker. Epidemic worsens as cost of drugs hits 100,000 naira per patient monthly. I mean, just to think that I was, trying to urge people to go, get screened. And here we are talking about the cost of drugs. 100,000 naira per patient monthly. Why is it that expensive though? All right, there is actually a breakdown with regards to that particular story, but you find it on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, and of course the details actually. You find customs overshoots a 5 trillion naira target, anticipates 10% leap. Details on page 30. And then on page 2, vandals attack another transmission station in Kogi. Moving on to page 30, federal government vows to crush new terror group amid 1,545 reported deaths last month. And then heading on to page 3, Wike justifies houses for judges, says no chance for Atiku in PDP. All right, on page 6, Tinubu urges patience as households tighten belts, focus on necessities. NHRC raises alarm on rise in kidnappings and killings, child abandonment. You find that on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. ICPC laments risks in probing high-profile cases. Details on page 4. And then this one is actually coming from the Word of Business, and you find it on page 18 of the Guardian. It says, Discos suspend a Unistar meter phase out over FCCPC's directive. And heading on to page 5, Marking Day, Adeleke present 678 billion naira, 390 billion naira budgets to lawmakers. All right, that'll just be it for the Guardian newspaper this morning. So grab a copy to get concrete details of these headlines. The Nigerian Tribune newspaper is up next. And of course, the big news story on the front page, written in red and black on white sheet, it says, Ondo APC rally, Tinubu evokes Ajasin Aketi's memories in push for votes. 2 riders underneath that headline. The first one says, suspected political thugs strike in Ondo, injure 6 in Idanre. The second rider says, police vow zero tolerance for act against peace. You find all of that on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. And just below that one, it says, how National Assembly members encourage corruption in public sector. This statement is credited to Jega. All right. How National Assembly members encourage corruption in public sector. Anyways, you find that on page 3. And then still on page 3, 2025 budget as the kicker, Marking Day proposes 678.087 billion naira. Adeleke presents 390 billion naira to House of Assembly. And also moving on to page 30, vandals invade Obajana transmission substation, destroy power transformer radiator. All right, on page 2, this one here says Okwebolo dissolves boards, sacks political appointees. And right underneath it says Assembly clears Attorney General, delays Oshomole's son's clearance. All right, you find that on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. And then 3 bodies still missing as black box of crashed helicopter arrives Abuja for analysis. You find that on page 3. And I think that'll just be it for the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Newspaper is up next, and of course, the big news story here says insecurity. No one dares Tinubu and wins. NSA warns terror group Lakurawa. All right, this comes with 1, 2, 3, 4 riders. The first one here says a new terror group made mistake, will be eliminated. All right, of course, time will tell, one would say. And the second rider says, note there is silence in Boko Haram's areas of operation. Niger Delta, Southeast, courtesy of military exploits. The third rider says, as CDS deploys troops to Kebbi to wipe out terror group. And the last rider says, customs exceeds 2024 5.07 trillion naira target. All of that on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And just above, the logo of the Vanguard, it says OPEC, federal government disagree over oil output figure. Details on page 19. Adetiba, Akiode, Aigbogun, Reverend Dunakbo, others celebrate Vanguard at 40. A right underneath it says, urge sustenance of papers, ideals, say Vanguard's a blessing to mankind. All right, details on page 10. And then how federal government's mining sector reform is drawing global attention. You find that on page 8. On page 24, this one here says, with 99 constitution, Angel Gabriel can't save Nigeria. This is coming from Anyaoku. And you have the sports story right there on page 29. It says Morocco 2025 seek qualification in Cheetah's territory. All right, that's on sport, but of course you can trust Vicky Vic to do justice to that this morning at the 8 o'clock hour. I'll leave it there this morning for the Vanguard newspaper. Now the last national daily would be the Nation newspaper. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, it says Lukarawa's terrorists will be flushed out soon, says Ribado. Two riders underneath that one, no room for them here. And then troops intensify onslaught against invading terrorists. Details on the front page, and it continues on page 4 of the Nation newspaper this morning. And then the government targets $10 billion for stable power. Vandals destroy transmission line. Details on the front page. It also continues on page 5 of the Nation newspaper this morning. $30 billion investment attracted in 17 months. Tinubu reforms working. Customs crosses 5.07 trillion naira revenue target. Details on the front page, and it continues on page 4. Ondo 2024 is the kicker. How Ayedatiwa Ajayi stand. Details on pages 2 and 3 of the Nation newspaper. And then Omokri, that's the kicker. It is ridiculous to categorize Tinubu as CIA asset. And then that's on page 5. Still on page 5, shake up in NNPCL, all right. And just above the logo of the Nation newspaper, it says FCCPC restates warning to discourse over meeting. You find that on page 7. And then erudite scholar Professor Dari writes on U.S. election. All right. It says all right, that's really not too clear, but you find that on page 23. And then when you move on to page 26, Wabote explains $35 million controversial refinery deal. And then on page 27, it says Makinde presents 678 billion naira 2025 appropriation bill. Ladies and gentlemen, that would just be it, or about the size of the headlines I will be taking across the national dailies this morning. It's now time for you to share your 2 cents. What are your thoughts? What do you make of these headlines making the rounds across the national dailies today, Thursday, the 14th day in the month of November 2024? Of course, I want you to stay civil and avoid the use of vulgar or obscene language. Do not forget to turn down the volume of your radio set so we can hear ourselves clearly. Do well as well to make your contribution or maintain at least 2 minutes or less. That way we get to accommodate diverse views. Well, the numbers to call this morning will be 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning, my queen. Yes. Oh, Dr. Prince Ike on the line, calling from Karimo. Hi, sir, my king there.
Yes, so
tell my profile greeting for him anyway.
All right,
anyway, what I'm trying to say is concerning the election. In fact, Nigerian people and the Nigerian government are energizing the protocol and arrangement of a election. The election period. They are going to bring the arsenals, bring out the arsenal, money and everything, and people, men of Chimba and Kareva, to showcase themselves that to show to Nigerians that they love the election, not human being. I get it. Without the protection of life and property, I don't think that the election is necessary. There is what we call social contract being enumerated and also being expatiated or postulated by John Locke, that every citizen of any constituted authority in the state have the right to obey the constituted authority by paying their the taxes and also allegiance and obedience to the constituted authority. Now, in return, it is the duty of the government being constituted to provide what adequate and meaningful social amenities like pipe and water, electricity, education, healthcare delivery services here and there. Are you getting me? Now, security is number one. Assuming that all those money that are being galvanized are united and corrected, to do work there for the election. Now, in a place called Ondo State, is being used to provide something or the other is fit out of the what six geopolitical what zones in this continent. Nigeria is going to be a heaven of a tranquility, a heaven of a what accommodation, a heaven of peacefulness, a heaven of a what harmony, a heaven of a what employment. Look at how many people are just moving up and down because of lack of what employment opportunity. Let Nigerian federal government do the needful.
Right.
I did say that election is not good. Election is good because out of election we are going to have adequate governance and also government in action. But they should be able to crash out this menace we are having because of what onslaught of banditry, kidnappers here and there.
All
Look
right.
at Abajana. Abajana. I'm running on. Abajana, power transmission station have been vandalized by gunmen. Is it not lack of security men and women? Thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prince Ike from Old Karamo. Well, one would want to differ, taking a look at, the last sentence of, your thoughts or statement that you made. Who are those really vandalizing these infrastructure or, transmission lines or cables, if you like? Well, indeed. A lot more needs to be done. I think citizens should actually look inwards and also help in the fight against, all of these anomalies that we find in our country today. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes, what's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is
Would you want to come again with your name?
I said.
All right, 09087668888 or 09073530044. Hello, good morning to you.
Princess.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Princess.
Good morning to you. Is this Obasanjo?
It's Obasanjo calling you from Amali, Niger State.
All right, please go ahead, Obasanjo.
Hey, wow, for our country, say they do election for Kano State and River State. Police no dey back. And the election was so smoothly. Now, the constitution of Nigerians, I don't know, it had usually allowed me, just concluded the election in America. If you watch it in CNN, in BBC News, or CCTV, you will see how the elections, why the deployment of plenty policemen to go and do what? In Kano State, they do local government elections that the fight will come. But they do it, nobody said one or two things. Without police. But the chaos that will happen over there, today, election in our country, I don't know, when are we going to be wise? With the level of education that we have in this country, still up to date, they will deploy and see us. In our community, there's no schools. Police failed to come. Upon the bandit terror has been terrorizing us. The IG has not stated anything. Deploy more than thousands of police go to that place. But in the election, where they will go and get money, that is all.
Obasanjo, the Chief of Defense Staff has already stated that troops or more troops will be deployed, to the regions where we have the new terrorist group terrorizing the locals there. So is that not a step in the right direction?
Yeah, it's only on paper they usually say all these things, my dear sister. I am telling you, it's only on paper. They don't mind of their word. They only stay in AC talking. When you people will capture the headline, you will not write the headline. Then they will just say we want to do this. Let me ask this question: the border has been closed. What makes the Lakarawa comes into Nigerians? What makes the bandit? As far as if the rice cannot be coming into this country, medicine cannot come into this country, and they allowed some people to be coming to this country. Do you know we are good people?
Obasanjo, who brought the Lakurawa terrorist group into the country?
I don't. It's the government.
Obasanjo, come on. I think we just have to leave it here for now. Thank you so much for calling. All right. If you are a religious listener, you would understand or bear witness that, the news is out there. It is no longer news that in the locals, we've been made to understand the place of ownership involvement in this new terrorist, group activity in Kebbi and the parts of Sokoto State, the locals actually brought in these terrorists simply because they felt, overwhelmed and perhaps handicapped by the activities of these bandits who keep kidnapping them. And somehow it was, a successful operation because of, the coup in Niger Republic. So it was quite easy for these people to also infiltrate Nigeria. But of course, according to reports, the locals actually aided, the entrance or penetration of these terrorists. All right, so let's be a little bit objective and constructive with our criticisms. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, Agric Forest. Yeah, immediate to Atiku.
All right, yes, let's see. And don't forget, the earlier you send your voice note, the better. All right. Hello, good morning to you.
Peace of
Brighto, good morning to you.
Good morning. It's Bright.
All right.
From Portland.
Right, please go ahead. Yes.
You see, there is on this Lakarawa,
Yes.
a governor gave a definitive illustration on how the Lakarawa entered into Nigeria when they have this military coup. Because Nigeria was on their head without even considering their own immediate gains. And just like Obasanjo said, if you close the border, you catch people sending petrol and bringing cars to come and carry petrol, no drugs coming in, no rice coming in. How is it that is it not even the locals that are also, maybe from there you carry the drug and you catch them? And how is it that the Eagles Eye security men can't even identify, if they have enough intelligence to identify the terror groups when it was emerging? And they are saying local. There's no how the locals will not do this. And people who have adequate security intelligence will not identify what's going on or a breach in the society. That apart, custom neutralizing themselves they have made existence. Look, failure is failure. How can you be emasculating your citizens and be saying you are making gain? What is the essence of making much money when your citizens are growing? Now, the citizens can't even buy motor. They say that if you buy motor for 2 million naira, you use 4 million naira to go and pay custom duties. Is it right? And they are claiming you have money. You import goods. Before you pay the cumbersomeness of and even the heavy amount you pay on goods is very, very high in Nigeria. And when they bring it into the society, the cost of high, the prices will be high. And you're telling yourself that you are making progress. What type of progress is that? How can you be telling your citizens, okay, now, because of the economy of Nigeria, most of the high-ranking pharmaceutical companies have gone out of Nigeria. Then, when you bring in the goods, you charge high on the prices. You can't buy drugs, you can't buy food, you can't buy essentials, you can't even transport yourself because of high cost of motor pass. And you are claiming that you are moving forward. What type of forward is that? Now the government is claiming that they have made how many foreign investments in Nigeria. Where is it? We need the empirical. What we see. It's not about quoting.
All right.
Nigeria is tired of reading addresses. When you fail. Give us concrete reasons to rejoice.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bright, for the line of thought right there. Well, we just take a time out this moment or minute, to pay this bill, and best believe we'll be back in a moment. And of course, the studio lines just to be opened, so do stay with us.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Wow, this feature phone is so good.
Which phone is that?
It is the itel IT5627. It comes with a 2500 mAh battery, which gives you 55 hours of standby use. Type-C charger, triple SIM slot, 3.0-inch screen, plus a 24 months warranty of worry with 4 months warranty? Yes! Go and get yours. ITEL IT5627. New ITEL. New experience.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio.
Eagles 102.3.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. And if you are just joining us, this is The Pages live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. And just to give you a heads up that you can visit our website at www.eaglesfm.com. Download our app on iOS and Play Store, and also link with us on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now X, and TikTok at Eagles FM Abuja. All right, the numbers to call are still 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, MAC.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Abdul, calling from Suleja, Niger State.
All right, good to have you.
I want to talk about the new terrorist group that is coming up. Please, I want to talk to the federal government. They should do something quick to make sure that this terrorist group do not have access to other states.
All right.
Because, this is how the bandits Boko Haram started. And if they should not stop them by now, I think if they should group up and go to other states, I need bandits that. So please, the army, they should try by all means and make sure that they deal with this new terrorist group. Now, I don't know, is it the bandits that vandalized the power station, the transmission station in Kogi State? You see, I believe the federal government is supposed to have securities that are supposed to be guiding all these things. Very strong, tight securities. Since they know that this thing, if they vandalize, is a problem. We are just coming out gradually from the national grid. I know how to suffer we that in Suleja here. You see, without this light,
yes,
people cannot even sell pure water, minerals, and all the rest. Some people depend on all these things. How much is fuel that you can buy and power your fridge? You see? So the federal government should make sure that there is tight security on all these national grid, all these transmission stations.
All right.
Please, God bless Nigeria, God bless Eagle FM, and thank you very much. What are you doing?
He's fine. He'll be here by 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Abdul. Well, at this juncture, I'll just put a pause, to the caller's belt, because we've actually got bills to pay at... in a moment, let me put it that way. So I'll just quickly head on now to the WhatsApp portal to see what we have there. I would like to start off with, the voice notes. So let's take a listen. But let's take a listen to this one.
Hello, I want to react to the comment that you will never listen, and for that he will win the and other bandits and terrorists. This is a statement of fact, because let me let you know that the bandit and terrorist commanders have been killed, and every 2 weeks the defense headquarters rule out hundreds of terrorists that have been killed, and many have been rescued from the hand of terrorists. The northeast is quiet now. The Boko Haram they spot and running, and this was not possible because the Tinubu army and the Tinubu set up chief of staff and the senior chief of admin staff, chief of staff, and Sububu and other terrorists, Kashala, Waringa. So these people call just giving us the next by this time, January, February, if they have forgotten, because they surely deal with them.
All right, thank you, GB. Would like to share in that optimism as well. Let's take a listen to this one.
Good morning, Eagles FM. Good morning, Omoife. Daniel from Kurudu. Right. Honestly, I support Falana for this move. You see, we have 3 arms of government: the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive, and each of them are independently. So for the executive giving arms to the judiciary, it will lead to compromises, and all of them should be independently in their functions. If the judges need houses, we have the National Judiciary Council. They should provide their welfare for them. You see, in recent time, the way politics and leaders have been playing in this country is becoming laughable. It doesn't go well with us as a nation. Honestly, lead with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let him look into his economic team. The hunger in the land is become imaginable. Every day, cost of things are going up. Where the FCT minister is trying in terms of infrastructure, the road, and other things that we are seeing in Abuja, I begin to wonder if there was any ministers like this before in FCT. But the hunger in the land, let him urge other ministers to do well. There is hunger in the land, please. God bless Nigeria. God bless you, Josephine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Good morning, my sister Omofe.
Good morning.
My name is Innocent Anthony Brown from Abadi.
All right.
I think at this junction we need to applaud the federal government for taking an urgent decision, to crush down the new terrorist groups called Lakurawa. In one of the headlines, I was very excited and very happy for federal government to send the troops to face the resistance of the new formed terrorist group. And with that, we also pray that our military men should also be cautioned, and may God Almighty guide them and guide them throughout the operations. At the junction, I will also plead to federal government to understand that no any syndicate should be left untouched. Anybody that is caught in any other terrorist, because it's always started from the beginning, he or she should be eliminated. Because we will not be facing two problems in Nigeria. We are facing problem of hardship, also problem of insecurity. May God help Nigeria. Thank you very much on my fair. Have a pleasant day.
You too, Yunusa. Thank you.
Good morning, April. This is Alami from the quarters. I go to Lakurawa terrorist group flee after the troop arrived their base. We are talking about Boko bandits, that have become the known as the 15 million Nigeria in my region, northern Nigeria. We have a brand new, and it's unfortunate, to say the least. And all I can say is, again, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not and can never bring us peace in our region until our politicians show less desperation. What we have now is desperate politicians that are willing to decimate our region, kill at will, sponsor terrorism to destroy national, burn down, blow down national grid, kill and destroy life and property just to make an administration look bad and unpopular. And at the end of the day, in what way has this benefited us? Has this benefited our region? In what has it benefited our region? Again, my eyes are very patient. They shall wait and see, what all of this, hold for us as a region. Thank you so much.
All right, Alamin, thank you so much for that voice note. But, to maintain that the governors of the region, they are the ones sponsoring all of these, attacks and activities of terrorists, well, it speaks volumes. Well, let's take a listen to this one.
I celebrate with my great sister in the studio. I say good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, UNICEF and family. My name is Triple D from Waro. My regard to all callers and listeners, especially Salasi, Honorable Edwards. I send my warmly greeting to you this morning. We said, constitution. It's a different to those who see things in God's directions. Wisdom is profitable to direct. It's a statement of an elderly man. Nigeria will get it right very soon. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, UNICEF, once again.
Thank you very much, Triple D. And the messages here, I'd like to start off with this one. Comrade Basi from Buhari says, good morning, Lady Omoife. There is no reason in the country to justify the building of residential quarters for judges in Federal Capital Territory by Nyesom Wike. The lame excuse being given by the minister cannot hold water. This is an inducement to the judges to do their biddings whenever there is a court case involving the ruling party, APC, and the rest has happened during the presidential election tribunals that brought this government to power. Now, the groundwork is being done towards 2027 elections, but no one knows what will happen tomorrow. May God Almighty save us from ourselves. Amen. Comrade Basi, thank you for that message. And then this one here says, good morning, Miss Presenter. Hard time. Actually, my name is Omoife. Hard time awaits new terror group. Excellent and hopeful remarks. But the old terror groups should not be allowed to be on celebration galore for their continuous wicked achievement. I believe that in recent military words and steps of actions against enemies of our nation will restore more hope of victory. Remain blessed. Samson from Federal Housing, Lube. All right, and then this one here says, Sami from Kuje says, good morning, Omoife. All right, congratulations and welcome to another day. Democracy in Nigeria is still dancing the Surugede dance, and that is why we keep hearing talks, killing opponents here and there. When will our politicians get it right and stop this do or die type of politics? Politics with bitterness is not the way to go because it doesn't help anyone at all. These politicians should please allow us to have a breath of fresh air in this country. Please. The spilling of blood and destroying of properties in the name of politics is getting out of hand in this country. Please. May God Almighty remember us in this country for good in Jesus' name, and of course the of the Lord will say amen. God bless you, dear Moife. Thank you to Samuel, and do have a fantastic day ahead. All right, heading on to the Facebook page now. We see this one here. Also, Francis Namani, a religious follower and also contributor. It says Nigeria must come up with proactive measures and strategies towards displacing the new terror group in the country. As teaching time saves 9. May God help us. And then he went further to say that good morning, my distinguished analyst. Let Mr. President revisit the 2014 confab and get reports implemented for a better Nigeria. With 1999 constitution, it will be difficult to fix Nigeria. Also, Francis Namani, thank you so much, and a host of others who also, joined the pages segment of the Eagles Morning Rise this morning. Thank you sincerely. Well, I think a question or a topic perhaps for another day would be whether or not we really do need police on election day, because a number of Nigerians have over time expressed, their reservations with regards to the number of, security operatives that are being deployed, on election, day. Don't really need, the presence of, security. Don't we need that? Knowing, of course, that politics is somewhat, a do or die affair, especially in this part of the world. But like I said, this would be a conversation for another day. So you brace up, and definitely will bring you up to speed on when that, conversation would unfold. Thank you all so much. I'd like to state very clearly that the views expressed by the contributors on the pages this morning were not influenced by Eagles FM 102. Abuja. I am Omoife Peace Osemere, and I'll be back at 9 a.m. to discuss banks recapitalization amid financial inclusion bottlenecks. Good morning.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.